All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are we doing today? Oh, excuse me. So we're gonna have. Forgive me. I'm gonna throw this cough drop in my mouth because still fighting it. Oh, okay. So yesterday we were talking about the shooting in Minneapolis. The let's be clear, obviously justified uh shooting of a violent rioter. Well, so this woman, yes, she qualifies as a violent activist because she was using force to impede law enforcement. And Crowder did a great breakdown on how the goalposts have changed. Right, as soon as it happened, we saw social media accounts. Oh well, it's not like she hit him with the car. Oh no, it turns out she absolutely did. And now the New York Times is running this piece. Well, in this one video, it looks like it in this one weak, grainy video where it's hard to see what's going on, it appears that she hit him with the car. But if you look at this other angle, she clearly did not run him over. Okay. I was hit by a car once, totaled it. Shit happens. I was on a bicycle. I was 15 or 16. Totaled the car that hit me. It was one of those little CRX hatchback things. And I was uninjured, but the point is I was hit by the car, but I went over the hood and the windshield. That's how it totaled it, right? Destroyed the grill. There was coolant all over the ground. The hood was crushed. The quarter panel was crushed. The windshield was crushed, and the roof was crushed. And I probably fucked up the driver's side door too. And I was fine, no problem. I didn't get to see the insurance investigators report, so I don't know that the car was totaled, but having been an insurance guy for a while, and that car was totaled. So it hit me. I went over it, so I didn't get run over. That's the important distinction here. The officer was clearly and obviously hit by the car. Hit and run over, not the same. Tim Pool did a pretty good breakdown on that. Crowder did an excellent breakdown on, like, okay, here's all the data that we have. Let's look at it. And it's very clearly and obviously the case that she hit the officer with her car right before he fired into her windshield. And when she hit him with the car, she clearly and obviously, just based on any given one of the videos available, if you can hear the audio, it's undeniable that essentially she put the pedal to the metal. Right? You can see the tires spin out on the ice. We covered all that yesterday. And then you guys in the chat, Mario and I, we all pretty much agreed there will not be mass riots out of this like the Summer of Love because it's cold there. And that's true. It is cold there. But turns out there are, in fact, Philadelphia, there are protests happening in Philadelphia. There are protests happening in New York. In New York City, in fact, they're going so far as to demand that Kristi Noem be hanged. Right? They're out there in the streets in New York chanting, "Kristi Noem will be hanged. Kristi Noem will be hanged." It's nasty. Nick Sorter is sharing now that there are autonomous zones springing up. I've got Aaron Olson coming on with me in just a minute, and I'm not sure where Mario's at yet. Aaron says mic check. My mic check is good. So Aaron, we're going to be looking for your mic to be good. So come on in. There's the You've got Nick Sorter reporting autonomous zones. ICE are pathetic Nazis. There's more of that language. They're saying these protesters are calling ICE Nazis, et cetera, et cetera. And like we were pointing out yesterday, this is how you get here. This is how you get to where the violence is. Because it really is this simple. Ever since Donald Trump came down the escalator, and in fact, even before that, let's not forget Barack Obama. If I had a kid, he'd look like Trayvon. Oh, is that right? Right? They've been trying to tar and feather basically anybody who's not some flavor of rainbow sherbet as a Nazi, a literal Nazi, which is, it always amused me a little bit because Nazis are socialists and conservatives are the opposite of that. Nazis are collectivists, and conservatives are the absolute opposite of that, right? I used to think I would be more libertarian, because when I first encountered the idea of libertarianism, we're talking like Tea Party era, I thought, oh, libertarian, it just means even more small government than Republican. And well, no, it doesn't. It means libertine. Turns out, basically, there is no reasonable camp for a person who is a strict constitutionalist who believes in founding principles, limited government, and the authority and the right of the people to rule themselves and govern themselves, and free men to operate with liberty and prosperity. So I got Aaron Olson's joining us this morning. Morning, sunshine.
Good morning.
Looking spiffy there. Is that a fresh haircut?
The same one I had when I was here last time.
Oh, well. It's doing the Lord's work for you, baby. So
I didn't have the haircut before this one in like a month and a half to 2 months. And
no shit. One. Maybe you need to eat some protein.
Protein?
Well, because just I shaved this all off yesterday.
Oh, right? Shaving? Oh, yes, yeah. I shaved yesterday. I have to shave quite often.
Yeah, I shave this off every day after the show, right?
Oh, you do? Wow. Impressive.
Actually, I used to have a lot of trouble when I was active duty. I'd get dinged all the time. Lowry, why didn't you shave today? I did. It was 5 hours ago, but I did shave today.
Yeah, that's me. It gets all up in here.
I was active duty.
Yeah. No, I have the same issue. My good old Scandinavian.
Says we call that a third phase haircut in the Marines. Hey, and there's my lovely wife, who's somewhat closer to you right now. She's out doing some of that Lord's work, as it were. I won't talk specific. I won't get into details on that, OPSEC and all. But
she's in Venezuela, so yes, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the Spanish half of my wife took the Comanche half down to Venezuela to collect some scalps.
Nice. Actually, I have to go to that part of the world today, old Comanche territory.
Say again?
I have to go to that part of the world today. I have to go into old Comanche territory.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? If you don't mind.
Oh, there's have you heard of Altus, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to go to Altus today, and I have to go through Lawton, and so I've got to go by the Oklahoma Artillery Base, and then there's an Air Force Base out in Altus. So, and that's the area where Geronimo was at. That's where he's buried too.
Yeah.
The Wichita Mountains.
So this morning I want to talk a little bit about the generations of warfare. We've discussed this on the show before. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. How familiar are you with this concept, Aaron?
I think I know what you're talking about, but why don't you start, and then I'll be able to pick up everything.
So, first generational warfare is basically
stones and rocks, or
Well, we don't really start talking about the generations of warfare until the invention of the firearm. So
Okay.
first generational warfare is essentially the everybody in line, right? Just
Yes. Yep.
you're talking pre-industrial, early modernity, line infantry, smoothbore muskets, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not taking carefully aimed sniper shots because you haven't invented rifling yet. So
Are we
you're
starting at pike and shot, or are we starting at flintlock? Matchlock. Matchlock.
first generational warfare covers basically that entire generation.
Including
So
the matchlock?
as long as it's smooth bore, yeah. As long as
Okay.
it's smooth
Sorry.
bore.
I'm
And
sorry to get so technical about it.
no, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, as long as you're talking about muskets, not rifles, so no rifling inside the barrel to improve accuracy, and your tactics are necessarily about volley fire and not carefully aimed targeting.
Okay.
It's so now you're talking about you get your victory by having cohesion and discipline, and you're not doing it on accuracy. You're fighting. You're basically not quite attrition exactly, but you're basically we outmaneuver you, and it's a little
whoever
more
morale breaks at first.
correct.
Whose people can't handle the tension the longest while being shot at.
Correct. Now you get into second generational warfare. Now you're in industrial age warfare. Rifling is a part of the mechanic. Sniper shots have become a part of it, but the real difference now is the use of heavy artillery, long range indirect fire, victory through attrition. You're talking World War I, trench warfare, that type of stuff, right? All centered around more centralized command instead of the previously more dispersed individual unit commanders.
Okay.
So when you're talking Civil War, Napoleon, and anywhere you've got the early smoothbore, blunderbuss, musket type weapons, you also had very limited slow communication.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have radio comms, so your command and control structure was okay. There's a big meeting over here, and then the commanders that dispersed, they might be a week or a month out before they're actually relaying orders to their soldiers, and they're very much the boots on the ground. I'm making command decisions here. And the kind of the command structure is more dispersed because it's not possible to communicate rapidly back and forth. So you have your very general like warning order, your these are your basic objectives, go execute. And then as things change on the ground, it's not like you're sending a report back to Washington at 2:00 in the morning and expecting a response by 2:15, right? So once you get up to industrial age, that changes. Command gets more centralized. Now you're talking about artillery dominance, trench warfare, war of attrition, that kind of thing. Third generation. Now we're into World War II, and I'm going to talk about some things here that were actually a part of our Revolutionary War, where we started employing guerrilla tactics very effectively, breaking with the line infantry tradition. But there's a significant separation there because of the communication piece that I was talking about a minute ago. And you'll note the communication piece is an ongoing and important factor here. And in the modern military, you'll often hear people say communication is the first casualty of combat, right? The first, yeah, the first, yeah. The plan might survive contact with the enemy, but communication is always the first casualty of war. And I can tell you that for sure. Once the bullets are flying, I have operated a radio in combat under fire. That is difficult to do. What is even more difficult to do is to say words to the guy next to you while you're both shooting. It's actually easier to relay information back to the Tactical Operations Center, over the radio than it is to just say words to the guy over there. Because this might be a shock to some of you guys out there, but bullets, and especially fucking grenades, are loud. They're loud as shit. And speaking of somebody who cannot have a conversation in real life without my hearing aids in, I mean loud, right?
Can you still hear the bullets going off without your hearing aids?
Yes. Wow. I actually do. I actually wear hearing protection when I shoot, even though I can barely hear it. That doesn't mean that the air pressure force from the noise isn't still damaging my hearing, my eardrums. And I've had enough surgery on those. I don't need any more. So third generation warfare, now you're getting into rapid attack, blitzkrieg stuff, infiltration maneuvers. Command is now decentralized, sort of, because you have the more rapid communication capabilities. You'll have the op ord, the operational order, and that gets disseminated out. So in modern military parlance, what you have the like overall operation order, and that's your field level commanders, your generals, etc. say, okay, this is the broad idea. We're going to take command and control of this area and execute. And that op order will say things like, okay, this brigade is going to be responsible for this part of the region, this brigade over here. And then the individual brigades will say, okay, well, we've got this battalion who specializes in this type of tactic or this type of activity. And then the individual battalions say, okay, well, we've got a company for mechanized, we've got a company for this, we've got a company for that, logistics goes here, armor goes here, et cetera, and break it down all the way down to the individual platoon sergeants will, hey, okay, so squad A, B, and C, you're on chow, you're on latrines, you're on security, until basically the op ord, an actual op ord is a thick ass document. You will meet very few soldiers who have actually read an entire op ord. And if you meet one that's read an entire op ord, it's likely that he did it while he was flying to an operation after he had already agreed to everything that he has not bothered to read yet, because it's not your job to read that fucking thing. It's somebody else's job to read a particular part of that thing and then tell you which part to read, right? But that kind of begins in third generational warfare. In fourth generational warfare, it's not so much that the nature of war changes as we start to add, we start to split individual things up. We start to make distinctions between what qualifies as insurgency, what qualifies as terrorism, what qualifies as guerrilla warfare, and we get into what we call asymmetric warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we did in the Revolutionary War, shooting from behind rocks and trees, that was asymmetric, right? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was saying it's so technical. Why is it so complicated?
Well, so once you get into asymmetric warfare, you've got, for one...
chaos becomes another weapon.
Correct. The chaos becomes a very effective tool. If you understand how to take advantage of the confusing situation, it becomes very easy to create chaos and confusion and use that as a smokescreen to conduct more targeted surgical maneuvers, right? If there's, if you can get the Afghan National Police shooting at the Afghan National Army, which I have seen happen, it gets real easy to sneak into the tea shop and black bag a Taliban commander. I've seen me do it. It works very, very well. Mario's got some great stories like that too. Sometimes the point isn't to kill the bad guy. Sometimes the point is to get his buddies to host a funeral for him.
Yeah. can see that. I can see why that would work too.
And I know that might sound dark and dirty, but sometimes the point is
necessary. Yeah.
To eliminate the enemy and secure victory. Right now, so fourth generational warfare. You're getting into all that. What we're looking at in the world today, globally, is fifth generational warfare. What I like to call amorphous warfare. Right. This is subtly different than asymmetric warfare. Asymmetric warfare, the enemy can be anywhere.
It can be anybody too.
Amorphous warfare, the enemy can be anybody. Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing right now with these riots that are breaking out all over the country, and we thought it wasn't going to happen, but they are in fact rioting and protesting all over the country. There's there are autonomous zones popping up again, very much leaning toward. I don't see this being as severe as the Summer of Love because of the timing and the weather and all those considerations. Now, in fairness, I'm in Georgia right now.
Yeah.
It's January 9th, and it's 65 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's actually pretty warm winter this year. It was 80 degrees over the weekend.
I got the Do Not Kowtow t-shirt on. We're in pretty good shape. Now that's
not to say it won't change rapidly, but it's supposed to get colder now.
Right. Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 30s in a couple or 3 days here too. But shit, that broke my train of thought. So asymmetric versus amorphous. Asymmetric, the enemy can be anywhere. Amorphous, think about the Matrix, right? Remember the woman in the red dress exercise in the Matrix?
No, but
were you listening to me, Neo?
We're going.
Were you listening to me, Neo, or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? Oh, I was. Look again, and he turns around, and she's the agent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's kind of what's happening here, right? Your liberal wine aunt that's listening to, it in the best case scenario, she's listening to Candace Owens and going completely off the deep end in that direction. But more likely, she's watching The View and thinks that these women are exemplars of the intelligentsia. But
they have a lot of money, don't you know?
Renee Good, the woman that was shot day before yesterday by the ICE agent.
Yeah,
she is your liberal wine aunt.
Yeah,
she got in her SUV with her wife. And I say wife. I'm not saying wife in scare quotes, by the way, just to denigrate and question the legitimacy of their relationship because they're homosexuals. It looks like the fact is that they were not legally married. They were kind of LARPing at being. So basically, they're dating and they're just. Their long-term relationship and saying,
we're in the car.
We're basically married.
Well, it doesn't matter these days. We've done it for a long time.
Yeah, I've been with my wife for 20 years. We've been married for 18, and there's some paperwork there. And oh, by the way, some tax implications, right?
Of course.
So
her wife or girlfriend was in the car.
We're basically married thing. That always aggravates me in kind of the same way. Well, I have dogs. That's basically the same as being a parent. No, it's not.
I'm a dog mom. I hate that crap.
Yeah, just love your dog. That's great. Pamper your dog. Overdo it with your dog. Sure.
It's not a person. Sorry.
But don't lie about it. So the reason this matters,
she had another person in the car with her. Her girlfriend was in there too.
You know the video that was the first one that was shared by everybody?
Yeah.
That's the wife.
Oh, she was there. She
got out of the car and was filming the thing. Like that's another piece of evidence that this woman was acting intentionally in violation of the law. Now we've got
to do it. Oh man.
Now we've got the wife chick on camera saying it's all my fault. It's all my fault. I talked her into coming down here to protest and block ICE agents.
This is one reason why people don't like police. They have the ability to operate with deadly force. Stay away from deadly force if at all costs.
Well,
if you can.
But we have this woman. We have Renee Good's wife, girlfriend thing, saying the words, "We were here to obstruct ICE." Like they came to Minneapolis with the intent, the premeditated intent to block traffic and prevent ICE from being able to conduct operations. That's literally the reason they were there. We don't have to speculate on that based on the stalking, the evidence that they were stalking ICE. We have her on camera saying those words now.
Well, there's your intent.
So once you get into fifth generational warfare, the amorphous thing, excuse me, the first time I talked about this was back during the Lois Lerner incident. I know I've explained this on air several times, but you've got the Lois Lerner incident. You've got the, what was it, Page and I forget the name, the two FBI agents that were caught colluding to interfere
Strzok?
with the 2016 election.
Peter Strzok and Lisa Page.
Yeah, Strzok and Page. Yeah, Peter Strzok and Page and Strzok. Right. Barack Obama did not contact these people and say, "I want you to go and frustrate the election prospects and strategies of the Republicans." He didn't call Lois Lerner on the phone or send her an email and say, "Hey, I want you to do whatever you can." And he certainly didn't call and say, "Hey, I want you to shuffle the applications for 501c3 status. Anywhere you see the word patriot, Christian, American, anything like that, make sure you shuffle those to the bottom." No. This is the amorphous warfare. What he does instead, and this is what you're seeing Tim Walz and Jacob Fry and all those guys doing. What they do instead is they create the cultural environment that contains the political justification and the permission structure to allow for activities to occur. And then they take their messianic figure like an Obama, right? Or their messianic minority. Now it's the sacred Somali. We all need to pay obeisance and sacrifice to the sacred Somali. And then anything that you do in service of the narrative is given cultural permission for the objective of paying homage on the altar of ecumenical politics. Mm-hmm. And the result is every person, right? You and I are not immune to this. We are perhaps intellectually inoculated, less likely to fall victim to this kind of manipulation, but no one is immune to it completely. But now the structure's been created where they can basically sit back, and people like Tim Walz, Jacob Frey, the Krasensteins, they're not seeing a tragedy happen in the news and then getting outraged about it and trying to mobilize response. No. They know that they already have a bunch of agitated, violent, psychologically deficient, mentally ill, left-wing activists out there who they want to riot, they want to loot stores, they want to burn down communities. They're not mobilizing something in response to a thing. They're looking for a thing to respond to. They are a disaster looking for a location. Right? That's where we're at with the fifth generational warfare. And it is such an effective and dangerous tactic that's being employed against the interests of the United States of America. I would say it is unreasonable for us not to have our intelligence community which in my opinion is itself already compromised, but not entirely. We should have the apparatus of our intelligence community actively investigating people like Tim Walz and the like for their foreign connections, because these tactics that are being used to destabilize and delegitimize our country are all in the very clear interest of our foreign adversaries.
Indeed, yeah.
You're supposed to start saying stuff now.
Oh, okay. No, I agree with you. No, I agree. It's not good. And unfortunately, it's been a long, steady progress to get here.
Yeah.
Especially if you listen to Alex Jones talk about the globalists and then communism actively being inserted into schools and stuff, it's just not good.
Yeah. And Alex Jones, man,
he gets
the turn of the frog
90%.
day. Turns
90%.
out he was right.
Yes, 90% of the times Alex is correct.
Yeah, it's terrifying how often he's correct and the things that he's correct about.
And he's saying, "I'm just reading what they post online. Here you go. Yeah. Here's this link." And these people.
Sergeant Major points out, following that logic, the wife should be charged with felony murder. Absolutely correct. And so she basically confessed to planning to commit crime, and Miss Good died as a result, not just as a result of that crime, but in the course of committing that crime. So absolutely, the wife should be charged and prosecuted for felony murder.
100%.
Crackshot says Yuri tried to warn us in 1984. Yes, Crackshot's referring to Yuri Bezmenov, who explained that 80% of the 80% of the, at the time, Soviet Union's intelligence budget was dedicated to what they called the demoralization campaign. And that word is a little tricky, because usually when you hear the word demoralization, you think about demoralizing the troops, as in creating a situation where victory and escape looks so impossible that you just lose hope. You're right. Your morale is shattered. But what the Russians were doing, according to Yuri Bezmenov, was intentionally trying to erode American morality through the installation in the especially in the institutions of academia of communism, sexual degeneracy, depravity, promiscuity, and rampant drug use. And that was, according to Yuri Bezmenov, that's basically what gave us the 70s.
Yay.
And that project was continuing forward even today under just Russia, which is no longer the Soviet Union. But old Vladimir Putin was KGB under the USSR before he was the president of what is now not the USSR.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you want to say. No, and that's exemplified with them having their largest hub of personnel outside of Russia being in Mexico City. So
yeah, y'all gotta go watch. Y'all gotta go watch the interview with Jack Barsky, man. Have you watched that, Aaron?
I don't think so.
I did like a 3-hour interview with Jack Barsky, the KGB agent, Albrecht Dietrich. He was a KGB agent stationed in the United States in the 70s and 80s, and we flipped him. Our FBI flipped him, and he became an American intelligence agent in 1988 or 9. I interviewed him
right towards the end.
Yeah, I interviewed him about 3 years ago now, I guess. It was back when I was still living in Conyers, for sure. But yeah, that was fantastic. But
yeah, repost the link in the comments, or we can do it now.
Yeah, I'll do it now. Talk about something while I do
Talk
that
about
now.
something. Like talk about how hard it is to flip a Russian because they're ideologically capture people, and whenever you capture a Slavic, it's very hard to flip them because they're very emotional people. And whenever you capture somebody with being emotional, it's very hard to actually flip somebody unless they're actually asking questions themselves.
Yeah, here you go. Here's the link in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and post it as the pinned comment under this video as well. So if you want to go check that out, that one is exclusively on YouTube at present. I think. So I'll double check later and see if it's on Rumble or not. And let me see. We've got quite a few people watching this morning. Go ahead and get you guys go ahead and throw some chum out there to the audience. Throw some goodies out there, see who gets it. Pit Danny got a free month of Brushfire Mind. Hell yeah.
I was going to say, don't be me. Don't be me.
Well, Pit Danny's already paid up too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Good on Pit Danny.
Man, I think that's about all I've got this morning.
What's the way to like combat people that you come across who are captured? What's the way to start poking holes in a nice way?
Tough.
To where
that's a real tough one. Like one of the problems is they've been shown video that proves the thing that they believe.
Yeah,
but
they believe
it's
what they
stuff
want
like
to see.
But it's stuff like the Very Fine People hoax, right?
Yes.
Where they were shown the exact narrow slip of a clip, and basically the only way you're going to break them out of that is to say, well, no, hold on a minute. Let me show you the whole clip. No, I don't need to see it again. I've already seen it. I already know that he said Nazis are very fine people.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very difficult to break through that bubble. Essentially, you're talking about people who are willfully and intentionally ignorant.
Mm-hmm. And what do we do with these people?
I don't know.
It's the thing I'm always trying to ask. Like
the best I can think to do is to keep doing this.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But that's just one thing I ask myself. Like we can say there's a problem all we want, but we need to start trying to come up with solutions to actually probably put forth some heavy thinking into. Just poke a hole right here. Just maybe just get them to stop and think for a second.
Yeah, the best I've come up with, and it's what I've been doing for the last 10 years or so, a little more than 10 years, is do this show, generate meme culture, meme warfare, what I like to call propaganda. And Fee says, my wife says, you leave them alone or find a soapbox. Here's my soapbox. And yeah, one of the things
in practice, I agree with your wife, but the unfortunate thing is that these people can vote, and we have to deal with their mix of stupidity in the real world.
That's correct.
I would enjoy just going in their house, taking pictures of the bedroom, then getting out. But these people, impact everything. So I'm just asking, we got to find something, or do some other bigger changes to where you take away the power constitutionally, to where we make it harder to apply to vote. So we just make it to where people like who actually have a stake in the game, who have either served in the military or own property, are able to vote, something like that.
Yeah, I like the property owner angle, and I like the net taxpayer angle.
Yeah. Something just gives these people some ability to where it's people who are actually doing more and upholding everything actually have an actual say, as opposed to the people who can be easily bribed with a turkey and a car in the garage.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in this one, and I'm gonna raid you guys over to the Bubba Army because that sounds hilarious. I don't know anything about it other than they're called the Bubba Army.
Oh,
And
we better be careful with this one because there's a Bubba on YouTube. This also has this group called the Bubba Army. We might get ourselves doused with some alpha male universe stuff.
well, apparently
it's all Wes Watson.
Bubba the Love Sponge. I think that's the same guy you're talking about.
Maybe. It
says Lasker went to the mental ward last night. So I'm gonna give these guys a chance to entertain me.
If you guys don't know who Wes Watson is, it's fun.
No.
You don't know Wes Watson? Oh man. That's a deep dive. All these guys.
Oh, Sergeant Major says maybe our best defense is for good people to go back to church and take over everything. Stop giving it to the liberals. Agreed.
Get a freaking backbone and stop being afraid. That's all.
Yep. All right, guys. Y'all be safe out there this weekend. Don't drive drunk. Don't fry bacon naked. And come back to me tomorrow evening at 2100 for the deep dive. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Peace out.